Good evening, everybody. Welcome. I'm so glad you're all here. I would like to introduce myself. I'm Lisa O'Connor. I'm the head of the department. If I haven't met you yet, I hope to meet you soon. We're going to get started with Alyssa representative kicking us off. Let's see who's here. Rob, do you know who's here?
Hey,
Hey,
yeah, I'd be glad to. I think Sarah Esther, she said had wanted to do that and also to moderate today, but I don't see her just yet. So I'd be glad to go ahead and speak until she
thanks.
gets here.
Thanks, Robin. Appreciate it.
Yeah. My name's Robin Knight, and the communications manager, and LISA is an excellent organization that we have. Stands for Library and Information Student Library and Information Science Student Association. We do have monthly meetings. We have Crit Libs coming up, which is critical librarianship, where we talk about important issues in the LIS field and in the department and how it relates to education and the workforce. We also have some service projects, social meetups. I'm reading here. And one of the things we currently have going on right now is a fundraiser. And part of the proceeds are going to go to an organization called Families for Freedom. And a different portion of that will also go to fund future LISA events. We will begin choosing or excuse me, not choosing, but promoting the upcoming election, which will choose new members. Everyone will vote. And so we'll have new officers in the next upcoming couple of months. And those people will serve for the 2021 to 2022 semesters. And if you have any questions, feel free to give us, send us an email at lisa.uncg@gmail.com.
Thanks, Robin. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. So this is my opportunity to tell you a little bit about what's going on in the program. We have a number of other people who are going to chime in and give updates. And if you have questions, I hope you'll ask. I first just wanted to give you a sort of a general overview of where we are in the program. Go ahead to the demographics. We'll come back to Cora Paul, sorry. So one of the first things that's really pressing on our mind at this time is diversity. We are currently about 17% non-white, and that's compared to some other programs in the country, that's not too bad, but it's not great either. It's not something that we're satisfied with, and we'd like to work really hard to improve that. I will point out that the university itself is over 50% non-white, and our undergraduate degree in Bachelor's of Information Science is probably at least twice as diverse as the master's degree. So we're really hoping that provides a pipeline for us so that we can recruit more diversity into our program and into the field. That's really front and center on our mind with our program right now. So we may be asking for your help along the way. You can go to the next slide, Tammy. This is just a picture of where you all are from. We're still by far a North Carolina program. Many more students from North Carolina than anywhere else. I believe Virginia is second, and then all the other states are just a smattering here and there. But we are trying to be more and more cognizant that we're not all in North Carolina. So that's a move that we're trying to make as well. You can go on to the next slide. So back to the equity, diversity, inclusion. This is a slide that we actually presented in the fall. Weren't sure how many of you were here then, so I don't want to spend too much time on it because I don't want to spend your time repeating too much, but I thought there might be some of you who weren't here in the fall that might be interested in knowing that this is a huge part of our strategic plan. We're making a number of efforts on a number of fronts. I'm going to have Dr. Velez talk to you about one effort that's currently ongoing in a little bit. I'm just going to sort of recap some of the things here. We have been able to recruit 4 new part-time faculty of color in the past 2 years. We're actively recruiting for non-white faculty in our full-time positions. We let's see, what do I want to go back over again? We have reviewed our curriculum. We've developed a Canvas site where we are beginning to expand it, even include more and more scholars from diverse backgrounds, not just racial and ethnic backgrounds, but all kinds of diversity, so that we can enrich our curriculum with diverse voices. We have a study abroad program that, of course, is on hold right now, given COVID, but we hope to resume that. Our Cora Paul Bomar Summit this year, we're really excited about, is going to be a major feature of our equity, diversity, inclusion plan for the year. Wanda Brown, the immediate past president of ALA, is going to be our speaker. She's going to be talking about leading from the heart. And we're going to have a panel of our ACE scholars. Those were students who came to UNCG, to our program under 3 big diversity grants. And we're going to have some of them come back and revisit us and be in a panel to talk about what kind of working environment really fosters diversity, equity, and inclusion. So I encourage you to join us. It's free. Unfortunately, it's just going to be virtual this year. Wanda will be speaking from 10 to 11 or so, and then we'll have the ACE panel after that. So Professor Gruer's pasted in the registration, and I'd love to see you all there. It's on Friday, March 19th. It's going to be a really fantastic morning, so I hope you'll join us. Okay. We are seeking input. We do want to help foster inclusion among all students so that you all have a voice. We've created a Padlet here, and you're welcome to come and share your feedback with us there. And we're processing all this feedback and trying to make some concrete changes and improvements to our program and to our environment based on your feedback. Okay, you can go ahead, Tammy. So I wanted to share a little bit. I've just recently submitted our biennial report for our accreditation, and that basically calls on us to provide an overview of the entire program and how we're doing. And I want to tell you that we're actually doing really, really well. I was so pleased and proud to submit that report. I think our accrediting body is going to be very happy. I'll get to the student exit survey data in just a minute, but I wanted to tell you that in terms of finances, our finances increased 10% in 2018, 2.5% in 2019. They're static in 2020. And I don't know what we'll see in 2021. It's such a interesting time. But I did want to tell you, and the faculty don't even know this yet, this is news to them. We thought we were going to have approval to fill 1 full-time faculty position, which in and of itself is just quite remarkable given that most of the universities are in a spending freeze. We've actually been given permission to fill 2 full-time faculty positions, 1 tenure track and 1 clinical this coming year. So that's unprecedented. It's an enormous vote of confidence in this department and this program and in our success. So really just terrifically excited. I mean, I wish I could convey to you how amazing 2 new faculty positions is at this time, especially. So we will be launching a search for those next year. Straight away, we'll start late summer. We'll be engaging in that in the fall, and we will be calling on you, our students, to be involved in that search and selection process, to give us your feedback. We'll have candidates doing presentations, and we'll really want to seek your feedback on who we select for these positions. As you see here, another thing that I wanted to share with you is I've been analyzing our student exit survey data over the past couple of years, and I wanted to share some of the feedback our graduates have had. We're just super excited about some of these. So our faculty really are excellent, and our graduates have rated them excellent. 71%. That's actually a 21% increase over the last period that we did this kind of analysis, and 24% good. So you can see overwhelmingly, people really think that our faculty are doing a good job, and I agree, very strong. I wanted to throw in here that part of our strategic plan has been to empower faculty to have a richer scholarly agenda. We've been in growth mode for 4 or 5 years, and that's hard on faculty. It requires a lot of time and effort, and we really wanted to make sure that they get a chance to continue to be strong scholars. That's such an important part of any program. We started out with a strategic goal 4 years ago of of 2 publications per year per faculty member. In 2017, we documented 2.42 publications per faculty member. That's well over our goal. And we were very pleased with that. We improved to 3.14 publications in 2018, 2019, and 3.44 in 2019, 2020. That is a publication and a half exceeding our goal per faculty member in this department. And I think that is just a lot to be proud of. And I want to give all the faculty a huge hand for that achievement. So back to student feedback, though. 86% of our graduates attended conferences or symposium. This is a 26% increase over previous data. And I think this one may excite me more than any other of the results that we got, because we really do want to see you and empower you to be engaged early in the profession and professional associations. We've been able, when we were able to travel prior to the pandemic, to help fund some of that. I hope that's at least in part a reason for this big increase here. But it's a great thing to see, and I hope that once we are able to travel again, you all will be able to help us set goals to increase this even more. I'd love to see 100% of you having attended conferences. 25% of our graduates actually presented papers or posters at conferences, which again is just, I'd love to see that grow. It's such good experience for you before you leave the program. In exit data, so placement data has become very important to our accreditation. 68% of our graduates report that they're employed prior to graduation. Now, when we do the library journal survey, which is an external survey, they report 72% of our graduates are placed within a year. I don't believe that only, 4% are placed between graduation and the end of a year. The problem is that we've only got 58% participation of our graduates in that survey. So we're missing a lot of data there. So one thing that I'm going to ask you to do in a few minutes is to really, when you graduate, know that you will be surveyed within a year, and that your answering that survey is really critical to our success. We have to publish this number on our public website, and we would love to see it be much higher than 70%, because we believe actually that it is. We're just not getting the data from you. So know that that request will be coming, and I hope you'll really engage with us and help us with that. I'm sorry, we'll come back to that. Sorry, Tammy, can you go back up? One thing that I'm really proud of, part of our strategic plan was to do a do a better job preparing students on the measure of how well they felt prepared with technology. Back 5 or 6 years ago, this was one of our lower measures. And I am so proud to say that 100% of students report that they feel they are at least well prepared, if not very well or extremely well prepared in technology. So I think we've made good strides in that goal. And 95% of our graduates agree or strongly agree that they are prepared for their careers in general. And in fact, 96% of our students say that they are likely or very likely to recommend our program. So we're getting terrific feedback from you all. We are maintaining a 1 to 28 ratio at this point. We'd like to bring that down just a little bit. We know that a strong advising relationship is extremely important in your success and your ability to matriculate through this program. So we want to keep that a really excellent relationship. In some of the areas for improvement that were identified, there were actually no areas for improvement identified by the actual numerical data. In some of students' written data, I've identified a few areas, and there may be others. It takes quite some time to go through all the written data. One of them I want to mention really quickly was multiple comments about summer school being too difficult in 5 weeks and that the courses should be altered. I just want to make sure you all understand that a 3-hour course is a 3-hour course. It must be the same regardless of whether it's offered in 5 weeks or 15 weeks. There is nothing that we can do to change those. If you take a 5-hour, if you take a 3-hour credit course in a 5-hour week session, you will be doing the same work as you would be in 15 weeks. That's part of being accredited. It's, you know, we can't reduce the amount of work just because the period is longer. Now, one thing we've experimented with is doing 1 or 2 hour credit summer school courses so that they are less work. But then that tends to, you've got to have 3 of those, or you've got to have 6 2-hours. It just, they weren't very popular because it sort of messes with students' accumulation of hours. So just know that some of our summer courses we offer in 10-week, those will be a little less stressful. But do know that as you sign up for summer school, a 5-week course is if it's a 3-hour credit, it's going to be the same amount of work in 5 weeks that it was in 15. So it's like actually taking 3 courses at a time in the fall. It would feel that way. So keep that in mind as you sign up. The other was a persistent comment that we get across all distance learning programs, which is about engagement outside the classroom. We really have worked hard to try to figure out how to help you all feel engaged outside the classroom to varying degrees of success over time. That's another thing we really welcome your feedback on. If you go ahead, go to the next slide, Tammy. I did talk about getting your feedback on alumni engagement and placement data. This is a place you can do it. You'll see the Padlet note there. Love to have your ideas about how you can stay engaged with the program once you've graduated, and how we can help get that placement data to where we need it, to where we're getting adequate response. So I will stop for just a second. Please do share your ideas with us and see if you have any questions about any of the things that I've talked about so far. Thank you. I'm aware that Dr. Chow has another meeting, and I've asked him to talk with you a little bit about our MED, and especially exciting is our new certificate in instructional technology. So Dr. Chow, would you like to talk a little bit about it?
Yes, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm delighted to introduce our new MED, which is really not that new anymore. We started with 16 students, and we've already doubled in size heading into the summer. Bottom line is instructional technology, and it's merging with the field of LIS and other disciplines is quite strong. It's a 11 course program, or 33 units, and I'll have to say that actually several of our students, first semester students, have already been interviewed or hired as instructional designers just because they've entered the MED program. So the bottom line is learning instructional design, learning how to be an instructional technologist, e-learning, remote learning, and really the integration of technology and all that we do is a very powerful skill. As Lisa said, so that's the MED program. New instructional tech certificate is also something that again you could pursue, and will give you really a touch of what you would get with the MED, but obviously very marketable. And you would leave the program strong in instructional design and also strong in instructional technology. So very excited. I really want to thank Lisa for her vision for creating this program, and it's been very exciting, and hopefully I'll see some of you in the future. Thanks.
It's a 4 class certificate, and if I recall correctly, 2 of those classes are required, and the other 2 you have some flexibility to select a class that sort of goes with your interest, and that really will prepare you well to design learning and to incorporate technology in your learning. I think it, particularly if you're interested in going into an academic library where you'll be doing a lot of instruction, it's going to make you quite marketable. So I'd encourage you to give it a look. You can contact Dr. Chow or me if you have questions about it. You can do these credits concurrently with your MLIS. Let us know if you have questions. We'd love to see you in the program. Thanks, Dr. Chow. Next, I've asked Dr. Bird to sort of give us an update about our current enrollment. What I just showed you was fall 2020 demographics, because we don't actually have good spring 2021 demographics yet. They take a while at the department level. So Dr. Bird's going to talk to you about enrollment, and she's also going to talk to you a little bit about how to make that advising relationship really strong and what to do if it isn't. Dr. Bird, are you with us? No? Let me look at the participants real quickly.
You want me to text her, Lisa?
Sure, that'd be great. Thanks, Mike. And we could go ahead, and I've actually asked Dr. Velez to come and speak to you a little bit to tell you about some of the faculty and staff development we're doing for equity, diversity, inclusion. So maybe we could move her up in the agenda and then include Dr. Bird when she gets here. Is that okay with you, Dr. Velez?
Yeah, I'm ready. Hello, everybody. So I am talking to you sort of on behalf of the Faculty Student Welfare Committee. Our charge is with assessing issues that concern the well-being of both the faculty and of the students, and trying to promote that sense of community for the department. So one of our primary initiatives in the coming semesters, because we realize this will be it'll be a continuous process, is to really be intentional about embedding more equity, diversity, and inclusion into the curriculum, as well as being more explicit about the fact that we are doing that. So understanding that in order to do that, we as your faculty, your instructors, and the staff, everyone involved in LIS, understand that we need to be well-versed in these topics before we can really be effective in including them in the curriculum. So we've started a department-wide training that includes weekly readings, reflections, and monthly discussions. We will then use this knowledge to include more EDI into courses across the curriculum, not just in specifically diversity related courses like diverse populations or those sorts of things. This initiative actually came both from an understanding within the department that we needed to really look at our curriculum and continue to change and grow, particularly understanding that the demographics that you are going to be serving are changing and growing. So you need to have a certain level of cultural competency and cultural humility in order to be the best that you can be. But it also came from students. And we have had student input on what should be included in the training for faculty and staff, and how to implement those changes in the LIS curriculum. So currently the members of the Faculty Student Welfare Committee are Dr. Sonia Archer-Capuzzo. She couldn't be here today. She's the chair. Me, Noah Lenstra. And we have a couple of student reps from LISA who were absolutely and continue to be absolutely instrumental in moving this training forward and providing input on what needs to happen, Robin Knight and Karen Collins. But I also want to make it really, really clear that this is to better the department and to better your learning experience. So we do want to hear from you. If you want to contact a member of the committee, that's fine. Or if you want to make sure that you contact your LISA reps that are serving as representatives of faculty student welfare, please make sure to let them know your comments and concerns and everything that's happening. But that is what we are currently in development. And so you should be seeing that embedded more into your courses moving forward.
Thanks very much. We have a web page that's devoted to our EDI action plan, and there is a link. You all correct me if I'm wrong. There's a link from that page for comments that you can make without identifying yourself, if that is a more comfortable place for you to do such a thing. Am I saying that right? Who remembers? Greg, are you here? Is that where the link is from? I believe it is. Anyway, we'll get you that. Yeah, I believe it's from this page.
There it is. Yeah, it's up at the top. It says via anonymous form at the top.
Yep. Thank you very much. Yeah, so we really want to make it easy for you to give us your feedback in this area, because we take this incredibly with very we as Dr. Velez says, we want to be extremely intentional about this, and it's very important to us. So we want to give you as many ways possible as to give us your feedback, and whichever is more comfortable with you is great. We welcome it. And I think we have, thank you, Dr. Velez, and thank you to the Student Welfare Committee. They've done a really great job, especially Robin and Karen. I know you've put a real work into this. So thank you so much for your efforts on all of our behalfs. And I think we have Dr. Bird.
Hello.
Dr. Bird, I told them that you were going to talk to them about current enrollment and how to make your advising relationship a strong, positive one, and what to do if it isn't, despite what you've tried.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Sorry that I am late. I had this in my mind as 5:30, not 5 o'clock. So here I am. Yes, so these are our enrollment statistics so far this year. And Dr. O'Connor and I have talked, and our main goal is to maintain the growth that we've experienced so far. There are about 61 people graduating. Congratulations to all the people who are on this call who are graduating. That's always very exciting. And so we will basically be working to replace that group of people, but we also have other, parts of the program, especially the MED and the Masters of Education in Instructional Technology, and we will be working to grow that. It's currently at 10 people, and that there is certainly a lot of growth in that particular area. So while the MLIS will be either maintaining or growing slowly, other parts of the program will grow. So that's what I have to say about that. And one of the things that puts a cap on enrollment is that we do have advisors assigned at a certain level for each faculty member. It's about 30 advisees. We don't like to go over that number because that's a lot of people to handle. But here's how advising happens. I assign advisors as you are coming into the program, and as long as there is enough capacity for a faculty member who exactly matches your interests, I will match you up with that faculty member. However, that isn't always possible because that person may not have enough capacity. We have a number of people who teach in the program who have experience with academic libraries, but we don't have a lot of people who have actually worked in a public library. Although Dr. Lenster does a lot of research in that area. So that's one area where we can't quite exactly match your interests with somebody who has experience in that area. So, so you may find yourself with an advisor who doesn't match your interests in any way. Or you may find yourself with an advisor who you just don't get along with for whatever reasons. There's any one of a number of reasons that that might happen. And we're not going to take it personally if you decide to work with somebody else. So how do you decide to work with somebody else? You know, what if you think, oh, I probably should get a different advisor. So you can come to either me or Dr. O'Connor and just say, you know, I'd like to have an advisor switch. I will handle the logistics of that, but Dr. O'Connor will let me know. But if you have an idea of who that person is, who a more compatible person is, please let us know that. Just know that if that person is over capacity, we may have to have a negotiation. That person doesn't have enough room in their advising schedule. What about this person? Again, it's not we're not going to take it personally. We're here to serve you and serve you in the best way that we can. And so please just let us know if there's been some kind of a mismatch.
Did you want to say anything about the Advising Handbook, Dr. Bird, or you?
Yes, it is in the almost done stage, a little bit like my dissertation. It was for many years, many months in the almost done stage. It has needs some tweaking, and I will be enrolling the graduate assistants to help me break it in terms of, does it actually answer your questions? Can you find answers to questions? And then it will be ready to roll out, but not quite there yet.
I'd like to thank you very much. Anybody have any questions for Dr. Bird before we move on? Okay, I'd like to raise a larger point about that. so many of you I don't meet until there's either you've done something incredible, phenomenal, or there's a problem. And I just want to tell you that too often when a problem comes to my attention, that problem has been going on for way too long, and um, um, I didn't know about it. So I just want to encourage you all. I hope that you have a wonderful experience throughout this program. I hope you never have a problem, but the likelihood is at some point you may have a problem. And if you have a problem in the program that you cannot resolve on your own after reasonable efforts, not heroic efforts, reasonable efforts, I want to invite you to come to me or to your advisor. We are here to make sure that you get through this program in the best possible fashion. And I would certainly rather see you and talk to you when a problem is still really solvable than after it's too late to really do much about it. So please, please believe me when I say to you that I want to hear from you if you need something. If something is not going well for you, then please know that my door is open and I want to work with you to make it better. And so I hope you'll feel free to contact me. I know that can be a hard step to take, but we're all our goal. We have one common goal. All the faculty and I and our staff, we all have one common goal, which is to give you an excellent learning experience here. So if there's something that's getting in the way of that, please, please let me know earlier than later. Now we'll have Mike Crumpton talk about ALA and NCLA if he's willing.
Yeah, I was born willing. How's everybody doing? I recognize a few names. My name is Mike Crumpton. I'm the interim dean for the university libraries right now at UNCG. So this comes with an open invitation for a tour. If you happen to be on campus at some point, let me know and I'll be glad to show you around and show you our risk mitigation setup for the past year. But I want to talk about ALA and NCLA. And if you're not in North Carolina, the same type of scenario applies for whatever state you're in. NCLA, the North Carolina Library Association, is a chapter of the American Library Association, and it's local, and it's all of us. And NCLA is very proud of being a statewide organization that includes all library types. So as you get out there in the workplace and find your way and find yourself in different situations, all situations are covered by NCLA. Here are the goals and the purpose. And I'm the past president, so I did the last conference, and we're getting ready to do a new conference, which we've been debating on how that's going to look, and it's going to be kind of a hybrid situation. So it's new territory for us. It's going to be October 18th through 22nd in Winston. And so if you are local, a conference is a great experience. And we are having to all adjust to these virtual conferences now. I've been on a few. ALA's been doing that for the last year. I think ALA annual, which is in June, is going to be virtual. But we are learning to make them count and make them significant. So the call for proposals is open right now. So please feel free to jump into that. Go to nclaonline.org, and that'll be the homepage. And then you can navigate your way into the conference and the call for proposal link. And I forget which slides are up here. So what was next? Okay, a little bit more about NCLA in terms of what you can do. So we have 18 sections, which when you join, you get one of those free. And then to add other sections is only $5. It's been 2 years ago now when I was president, we actually transitioned into a new software, which has been great. And it's really made everything a lot more user-friendly. But you can get into these sections, and that becomes a smaller venue to work with people on and network and find your interest. And we change them as the man warrants it. So on that list, the online group, the distance learning group is new. the last couple of years because high demand for that. The STEM group is fairly new because high demand for that. And so these sections are very active in doing things particularly to that particular topic. And I think that's where members get a really big benefit. These sections themselves will also apply for programming, whether it's panels, presentations, or posters at the conference. So you'll see a mixture of all those different topics at the conference. Oh, sorry, Tammy, you can go back. That was good. So another thing that we do is a leadership institute. And this was my poster at last conference, which was kind of just showing the last 4 leadership institutes that we've been working through, and with our graduates who, a lot of them were graduates of this program as well. And this has been a very significant piece of what NCLA does for the membership. And you can see the goals, the mission statement. We tweak it each time from what we've learned. And it's a lot of these people that I know personally have gone on beyond this Leadership Institute to get promoted, move into higher levels of responsibility and position. So it works. We had one set up for 2020, which now it's going to be 2022. And what happened was COVID, of course, but we decided that the methods that we use in this Leadership Institute did not translate to virtual. So we're ended up skipping a year. So, but it's out there and it's strong and it'll continue, especially when we can all get back together. So at this link, okay, and that's a link actually through ALA, you can sign up for membership at $42 a year, and that is a bargain while you're a student. And then even after when you graduate, that first year after you graduate, you still qualify, but you get membership in both ALA and NCLA, or if you're outside of North Carolina, the state of your choice. That link takes you to the North Carolina page. But if you do the breadcrumbs back a bit, you can find your state and go in and you fill out one application. $42 will get you a year's worth of communication, the American Libraries magazine. The ALA sends that information then down to NCLA, and then you get signed up for that, and that's where you'll need to select a section. But it's a real bargain, and I can't emphasize that enough, because as we move through COVID and how it's changed things, there's been a lot of access to information or presentations or professional development that ends up being free or very cheap. And so, but you got to be kind of a member to kind of be on the radar to get that. So big recommendation to join that while you're a student. And then you make the decision about paying more when you get a professional job at that time. What else do we have? Oh, that was it. Okay. If you have any questions about the libraries here at UNCG or NCLA or even ALA, let me know. I'd be glad to help.
Mike, if we can increase our conference participation another 20 some odd percent, we'll have 100% participation. So NCLA is a good partner in that effort. I'd love to see that 100%.
And this is a good year to do it because everything's cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Just FYI.
It will save you a ton of money. Okay, well, we have reached the end of sort of the information component of this, and you now have time to ask questions, make comments. We have a good at least 15 minutes. If there's anything that you would like to know or share, we'd love to hear it. And I think Sarah Esther is here, and she is going to negotiate sort of field questions and help us get you answers.
Yes, hello everyone. This is Sarah Esther, the Secretary of LISA. It's always great to be part of Town Hall. I see the first question It says, I'm planning to take LIS 692 this upcoming fall, but I'm very confused about how to get signed up or started on the process. Can you explain the steps a bit? How early we need to sign up, etc. Or let me know who I need to talk to understand that.
Professor Brewer, do you want to jump in?
I was just going to say, do you want me to answer that? Beth, if you'll talk with your advisor, they will lead you through the process to do that. To do 692, you have to actually have a Google form that will allow you to choose what school you would like to do that in if you have a preference. You can at least choose the county or the district if you prefer there as well. So if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me as the school library program coordinator. Those are the kinds of questions I field quite often. So we'll walk you through that. We'll make it as simple as possible. And I'm just Brewer T at UNCG. So I look forward to talking with you.
All right, thank you. The next question is, any information on new classes coming up this summer or fall?
Can you clarify, do you mean classes that we've never offered before?
Sure. So okay. I think yes.
Well, off the top of my head, I don't think I can answer that for you. I know we are offering a new one in e-learning design and another in, oh, I'm not going to be able to pull that off the top of my head, but I sure can get back to you about that. There are a couple new courses. They're mostly in the area of sort of instructional design and learning technology. If you have ideas for courses that you would like to see offered, I would love to hear your suggestions. We will try any course once. And so would love to hear from you if you have other suggestions.
Okay.
We had a question from Robin too.
Yes. Is the alumni organization dissolving? There had been some mention of that in a previous meeting, and I wasn't sure about the future.
Professor Brewer, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure, definitely not. Dr. Hirschberger and I have been meeting, actually trying to be kind of bi-weekly or monthly to discuss kind of transitioning that over and trying to find some ways to revitalize that a little bit. So through social media, newsletters, things like that we've been discussing, but we definitely have an idea about trying to build some pride in our UNCG LIS history and alumniship. So we want you to be a part of that, and I look forward to it growing. So we're looking forward to seeing all of our alumni at these conferences that Lisa and Mike were talking about. So definitely something that's not going away.
And we will always have gifts at those conferences for alums. So when you attend conferences and you know we're there, come by our booth and we keep a little stash of special gifts just for alums. A variety of things. You never know what it'll be. I wanted to say something else about the summer schedule now that I'm processing your question a little bit. So we do have one new course, Dr. Dawkins says, Seminar in Legal and Ethical Issues in School Libraries. I do want to remind you that the summer schedule actually has been out since a long time. I can't remember when it opened up, but we actually are under a lot of pressure from the university to cancel summer school classes that don't make because we're in this COVID money saving mode. So I'm watching summer school enrollment extremely carefully. I do not want to cancel classes that you need. So I would urge each one of you to register for summer school like today. Even if ultimately you decide not to, if you think there's a chance you're going to take a summer class, it would be better to register now than are having to cancel that class. So please, I would just urge you, register for summer school now. We have so many people come to us in May and say, there are no summer school classes left. That's because we have to cancel them if they don't fill up. So please do that early, like now, if at all possible. Yeah, we have a number of summer school classes that have a number of seats in them. And if we don't get 12 to 15, they will be canceled. So please, please, please register so I can defend them from the man. Any other questions, comments, thoughts? That's great advice, Dr. Bird. If a class is full and you want to get in, please do put your name on the wait list. Actually, that's true for all semesters because that gives me a sense of what we need. If I know we have 12 people on the wait list for a class, I can go ahead and open up a new section of the class if I can find an instructor. So the earlier, every semester, the earlier you register, the more time it gives me to add new classes if we need them, or add classes that we need that we didn't know we needed. So registering early is a great idea. And waitlist yourself if you can't get into what you want. Well, hearing no more questions, I guess I would be interested to hear your feedback at some point if you thought this was helpful. The next time we do it, I would love to have some more direction about what you would like to know and what you would like to hear about. This really is for you. So if you think about it and we didn't cover something you're interested in covering, drop me a line and let me know. If you thought it was helpful, that would be great to know. So we will look forward to doing this again in the fall. Well, thank you, Ashley. I'm glad it was. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. It was great to see you all. Have a good night, and your classes will begin now if you have classes tonight. Bye.